Hello.
How's
All
it going?
working? Good. How are you?
I'm good.
With a tiny window today. There you are. Now you're real sized.
Okay, I was wondering what you were doing.
There we go. All right. How was your day? What have you been up to?
Well, I actually just got off a Zoom call with Myron or I forget her.
Eileen?
Maine, okay.
Yeah.
I had a quick conversation with her because everyone else I sent 4 or 5 training videos, and
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure I sent it to her as well because I knew I was talking to her. But she said she didn't receive it. So if she didn't receive it, she didn't watch them. So the conversation was pretty short. But I did mention that I was unhappy with the response. She wrote me an email, and the grammar was just not good because she was asking for the Zoom link, and I
Yep.
said it's always in my email signature. But the grammar, I guess when people are offered a job, I guess they let their guard down and their true selves come out. And I
Oh
said,
yeah,
well,
absolutely.
yeah, we cannot have emails like that go out to clients. And she confirmed that she uses Grammarly, the free version. And I said, no, you got to use the paid version, and you gotta send every. And here I am talking about you gotta, but you
Hmm.
should never do that. But you cannot have anything go through to a client that's not, nearly perfect. So
Yep.
she understood. I was as gentle as possible while trying to convey the message. So I think she understood, and she's going to reschedule in a couple of days, and I'm going to send her the video links tonight. Um, so how are things going with you?
Not too bad. Can't complain other than just generalized search traffic is down. I was actually just checking the website now. We can actually all our keywords, everything's trended down for I'm right now. I'm getting a lot of calls from other people wanting work because their places have
They're
also had.
suffering, right?
Yeah. So I know it's not just me or an issue that I'm having with that was that we used to get like maybe one or two applications every week or two, and now I'm getting like three, four, or five, and they're all saying the same thing. My work has slowed down. Do you have extra work?
Okay. As
So
long as they're not going to stay with you, and as soon as they get busy, they're off again. We don't need people like that.
no, I haven't even responded to all of them. It's just a general information. But if any of them look good, then come along. I'm only signing people up on the revenue sharing program now.
Okay. And
Anybody who comes in,
and
anybody.
what is that split? Have you updated that?
Yeah, so it's if they're at like painting, drywall, handyman, it's a 60-40 split, 60 for them, 40 for me. And for the first 3 months, I take an extra 15% to offset training costs.
Okay,
Most of them are
that's
already, it seems a little, but also I have higher rates than anything they had charged before. So they're still taking in more than they wanted to. When I asked most of them, they
okay.
wanted to go home like 4 or 5 grand a month, and that easily takes care of that. That's not a problem.
Okay.
And
As
then
long as long as we still get good reviews after.
yeah, I mean, I can adjust those numbers based on the, and if they're have more experience, it's up to 70%. Like the guys who have the carpentry and the other stuff, they're also billing at a higher rate as well. So they're making more and at a higher rate, um, which works out for them as well. And it's just getting a mix of the different levels of these kinds of guys and trying to grow. I think the growing the people who came in at the bottom level so they can become people at the top level is a great idea, and trying to convert my employees into eventually becoming these business owners as well, so that I don't have to babysit people anymore. So I had my first training day with the franchise woman Andreka, and
Okay.
well, she really appreciated all the systems I had built. I've given her all her logins. She's going to go read every stuff. I made it very clear that I'm not here to babysit her or give her all her leads. That most of her role is to do what she was already doing before, selling, being awesome, but now she has all the systems that she had just been worried about not having, and the fact that her business had taken over her life. And that I'm here to support her, be her coach, and I'm here to make her be as successful as she can be.
Okay. And so far it's still going in the right direction, the relationship?
Absolutely, yeah, we are still on the right path. She's gonna work over the holidays on, she's been given a 3-inch binder that's a manual, as well as access to the online learning, but she has like 10 different modules to go through, not just I've given access to the virtual assistants. They have they've been given company onboarding to teach them about the company and its values, what we sell, how we sell it. So they have that information as well.
Okay.
The Andreka, the franchisee, she's been given that information as well as outcome standards for how to do her job, process standard, this whole set of how you do your job properly, so she can check it at her own pace and at her own time. And then we're going to set up several more in-person training sessions to get her comfortable with all the systems. She's going to job shadow me for the first like 4, 5, 6 weeks, so she can see all the little different pieces that she has to do. And I'm teaching her how to be a business owner, essentially, right?
Okay.
And I'll get things like getting them their own health benefits and showing them how to sign up with the Chamber of Commerce plan that make, they'll feel taken care of, making sure they go to get a corporation number, so I'm not dealing with sole proprietorships and the issues that might deal with. And just making them feel like they're becoming a business, which is fulfilling their dream, and I'm just there to help them. So that's the avenue I'm taking when I'm coaching them and working with them and guiding them or giving them any instructions on, we're the McDonald's of handyman. Everybody's doing the same thing the same way. Why is consistency? We have those kinds of chats and lots of light bulb moments of, oh, wow, everybody does it the same. Everybody's outcomes are the same. Then there's this word of mouth that grows and everybody gets richer and more successful because of it.
Okay, sounds good. The other handyman that you're getting applications from are what areas are they coming in from?
Mississauga, Scarborough, Brampton.
Okay.
Well,
I like that idea, because when you start marketing, or your virtual assistant starts working on LinkedIn and Facebook and so on, now you're covering most of the GTA by doing that, and we're not missing any. We don't have any blind spots.
Exactly. They get a business. They're getting a business card, email, their own special extension, so we can track things that they do. They get postcards with their face on it, as well as a tracking code. They get the door knocker for after to put on with the same thing. And I'm thinking of doing a poster with a URL, because sometimes posters last 4 to 6 months on back streets where people walk their dogs in neighborhoods.
Okay.
A nice poster size one that's colored, that's a little bit higher than the rest, will actually last for a while and maybe connect with people.
And you can't reach without getting on
And
the
you can't
ladder.
reach it exactly. And I've taught them about, like, teaching them about the marketing math. In our case, she needs to get in front of 3,000 sets of eyeballs every month in order to get 115 warm leads, in order to get 69 estimates, in order to get 14 sales.
Okay, I like the way you do the math. It paints a realistic picture for them so they understand. I like that.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
That's kind of where I'm at now, and I'm just focusing on building up with her. I'm going to find where the pieces are missing, and I don't think she's going to mind, and I'm going to figure some things out as I go along. So that's kind of good. And otherwise, it's just a matter of making sure all the systems that she has to interact with are working properly, while focusing a lot on marketing, which is the meeting I had with the CDAP people on Wednesday, which was very, very good.
Okay. I'm feeling kind of lost here, because generally what happens when I help train virtual assistants, what happens is they watch the videos, the training videos that I've done in the past. Then we start working on, real LinkedIn accounts. We start looking at posts. We start looking at comments. They post stuff, and we're sharing a screen, and we're looking at the same thing, and we're talking about, okay, where are the opportunities?
Mhm,
And we start commenting real life on real
mhm,
life posts. So generally by now, either I've created a number of LinkedIn accounts for you,
mhm.
or you have, but we're kind of behind on the 8 ball here because now we have the virtual assistants and we don't have the accounts.
Yep, so can we get one of the virtual, I mean, I have my own account and the business has an account. So those are the
Okay,
only
so
two.
we can start with those if you're comfortable giving access.
Yes, I would prefer that because I don't have time to monitor them.
Okay,
I
so
get 42, 50. I get 50, 60 views a week and I can't do anything with it.
okay. So make sure they have access to your account. Are you using a VPN on your
Not on my end, no, not in Canada, no.
okay. So the best thing to do is instead of having everyone use a VPN, what I usually do, and the reason why I have 6 computers around me, is they
Mhm.
use Go um, Connect PC or something. It's a paid service, but it's only about $40 a year or something. And they connect through your computer to your account. Then that way it doesn't send out red flags to LinkedIn because you can't afford to
Mhm.
lose your LinkedIn account.
Yeah.
Um, and make sure you have um, it's been verified by cell phone and so on. I'm sure you have.
Oh, it's all done. All that's done, yeah.
Okay. Because a lot
And
of times they restrict the account to make sure you are a real person. So expect that that's going to happen.
yeah, I just
Um,
have to be awake when that's happening.
I mean, they might restrict it for 24 hours, 48 hours, or even a week sometimes. You have to send in your driver's license to verify you are a real person. So that's going to happen. And that happens to about 2.5 million LinkedIn accounts every 6 months or so. Um, so, so do you have extra computers? Because if you're working on your computer, your virtual assistants are going to need other computers to log on to.
I only have two other computers. What if I gave them, which I've done, because Robin is in New Brunswick, and she has a Chrome extension. Well, she just has a like an odd job Chrome browser extension, like a Google account with everything preset in there, and then she can just go into them. And there was one time we had to verify because her IP address was not Toronto, and then from then on she just clicks on everything, and I don't even have to pay for it. I just
Okay.
make I just make another, I make it like administrative assistant at google.ca or Google or oddjob.com, whatever it is. And that's the Google, they log into that, they load their browser and everything is in there for them. The
Okay.
LinkedIn.
So is it like a Google instance?
I don't, it's like just, oh, it's like opening, they're opening a copy of my browser, my Chrome in their house, essentially.
Okay. But essentially they're accessing LinkedIn through your computer,
Not through my computer, but through my Google Cloud account, they are.
Google Cloud. Okay,
Everything's in the cloud.
as long as Google Cloud hides their IP address, don't forget they're logging in from the Philippines. That's
Yes.
going to send out a lot of red flags,
I see. I hadn't
right?
thought about. Or they have to have a VPN.
Or they have to have a VPN. But when you have 3 different assistants accessing the same account with different VPN or IP addresses in the VPN, that might send out flags.
Yeah, I only have two spare computers as well. And you're saying I need to have an extra computer for each of them?
Ideally, and this the reason why I asked you to set up a marketing account is we would set up all that stuff. We have extra computers to do that, and we buy used Lenovo computers. Like this one that I'm talking to you on is 32 gigabytes. It's got to be 15 years old, but it has enough memory that they use it with all the different drives, and this thing cost me $800.
I'm sure I could just buy a couple desktops from somewhere like a used computer store, couldn't I?
Yeah, desktops are going to be cheaper. Yeah.
Like I've done, that's what my office is full of, is desktops that are a couple years old, because we're running the internet, that's it. So I can get a couple of those, I suppose. They just need to be able to log into it, I guess, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't need to have a screen or anything attached to it. They just need to be able to connect to the actual computer.
Well, it's nice to have a screen because you want to watch what you're doing every once in a while. Because it is your LinkedIn account and Facebook account they're using.
Yeah, I figured I would just log in from my side and check on them, that's all. Or can I not do that anymore?
Well, you got to make sure you cannot have two different people using the same account at the same time. That's why I like oh crap. I should know this stuff. But then again, we've been using it for so long. Let me find out what it is.
I didn't know you couldn't do that, because I mean, I can use my Google. 7 people can use the same Google account at the exact same time.
Yeah, don't do that. That's a great way to get your account deleted. Where is it? Oh, remote PC. Remote PC, I think it's around $40 or $50 a year. And the basic account. No, I think each account you can access 2 different computers, but they're using the same login information. And what we should do is if you only have limited computers, if each one of them doesn't have their own computer, then create 2 different shifts. One works Toronto hours, the other one works, their night shift, basically.
Yeah.
But make sure they understand, do not log in before 4:59 or 5:01 or 7:01, because you cannot have 2 different IP addresses on the same account. You will be deleted.
Okay.
And we should set up other accounts, other LinkedIn accounts, other Facebook accounts, Twitter accounts, and so on. So you can train one of them to do that. And because you're going to have future salespeople, you're going to have future franchises, and you want to have these things aging, because it takes a long time to get LinkedIn followers, right?
Yeah. So we already have Facebook accounts. Are you meaning like diversified Facebook accounts, or just like the one I already have? I have Twitter. We already have Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. We just have like an Odd Job account. Or do you mean like me making like a sub account, like Odd Job Liberty Village, Odd Job Richmond Hill, and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, that sounds very salesy though. LinkedIn is basically there to set up stepping stone relationships.
Yeah.
Okay. You're going to connect with, mortgage brokers, real estate agents, other contractors, and commercial projects, and so on. So you want to create accounts that are friendly to that. I mean, real estate agents won't have a problem connecting with Odd Jobs. That's not an issue. Actually, Odd Jobs should not be an issue with any of them. So yeah, you could have all of them being Odd Jobs. The problem is, if one account gets flagged for overuse or spamming or a complaint or something, if all of them are Odd Jobs, now they're all flagged. Right? So you don't want all of them to go down. And keep in mind, I lost my LinkedIn account 8 times. I know how painful that is.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot my question. I'll hopefully remember.
Yeah. But we need LinkedIn accounts. And keep in mind, if each LinkedIn account, you can only do I think 100 connection requests per week.
Is that, oh, that was my question. Should I pay for the LinkedIn, the pro version where you don't
No,
have the?
no, 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 you don't need that. I saw no advantage to having Sales Navigator or Recruiter or anything else, unless you're doing real recruiting, but I don't see you doing that.
No, would that counteract the VPN multiple login issue though?
No.
The pro-
No, they will delete you no matter what. So,
Anybody else using their account but you?
well, if you read their policy, you cannot even have your assistant log into your account. Only you can log into your account. So they really frown on other people touching your account. So LinkedIn is the toughest and the hardest company to work with, in my opinion. So what I was saying before is if you can only send out 100 connection requests per week per account, if you have 10 accounts, now you're multiplying your efforts times 10, right? So ideally, if you have 3 virtual assistants, each one has, let's say, 3 to 6 different accounts they're responsible for, because you don't want to do too much work on one account because it sounds, bot-ish. You don't want to sound like you're a bot.
Yeah, what should I be naming these like accounts? Like how should they be related to the original?
Well, you have create one for Jeff Jones. He's a salesperson for Odd Jobs. Create
Okay, so
another
that's like-
one, pick, names, and different positions for Odd Jobs. One for marketing, one for sales, one for, I don't know, HR, one for recruiting handyman.
I get it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But be extremely careful. Make sure the accounts are not from the same VPN or same computer. If you're going to be creating multiple accounts, you got to use VPNs. But the problem is if you use VPNs.
What if I have the account and give them the information?
Sorry, what about?
What if I give them the information and have them create the account? Then they've done it automatically from their end.
Yeah, as long as they use a VPN, it cannot be created from the Philippines.
Oh, okay. Damn. Okay.
It cannot be created from the Philippines because if you're a Toronto company and someone has access from the Philippines, that's a flag. You don't even get a warning. Okay.
So I have to verify that they have VPNs, and I got almost like double check that they've got all this before I even let them go crazy.
Well, you don't even trust them to get VPNs. You give them VPNs, right? If you want, I can give you the company that I use to buy VPNs. I mean, VPNs are like, a couple of dollars.
Yeah, I have one on my computer. I just don't really use it unless I'm going to another country or something.
Right.
VPN access. Okay. So they need VPN access. You wanted them to look into something like Dragon Naturally Speaking.
Yep. To make them more efficient.
More LinkedIn accounts for positions in the company. And then you're talking about other social media accounts. I've already got the bases. Those need to be also proliferated as well in the same kind of manner. Or just the basics that I've already had those for like 10 years.
Okay. Well, the idea is to get 80 to 90% of all your leads from organic, from the work that they do, and to eliminate pay-per-click as much as possible. So keep in mind, you're taking the budget from there and you're replacing it. So you're really not spending more, but I believe you're getting better quality leads, especially if they go after corporate leads like the Royal Bank one. So keep that in mind so you don't get discouraged about building this infrastructure. You need this infrastructure to get to $5 million or $10 million. You need it.
Yep, you're absolutely right. Okay, so I'll start to build that. That'll be fun. Okay, what's next?
Well, I would concentrate on that. I would even have a meeting with all three of them and say,
Mhm.
this is what I need to do. Who can help me with this?
Mm,
And empower them to take over projects. And that, those are the types of questions that I was asking, like, what kind of work do you enjoy doing? Right?
mhm.
So we can give you more of that.
Yeah. Do you see any of them moving into like, I guess these are the first tests, doing a like content creation or blog writing or stuff like that in the future? Or is that part of the program for these guys, or are they strictly, yeah?
Yeah, yeah. Um, you know, over the next couple of weeks, as I'm training them, hands-on training them, I see
Yeah,
what they're good at and say, okay, you're going to specialize in this. We're going to have you do content rewriting.
yeah,
Because the reason why I like content rewriting, because content creation sounds like a pretty big project, right?
yeah,
But when we say rewriting, you're reading an article, you read another article, take the best points, rewrite it, done, right?
yeah.
Um, so it's a lot easier doing it that way. When it sounds overwhelming, they, even though they say, yeah, I'll do it, their culture doesn't allow them to say, I don't know what you mean and I can't do that. They will always say yes when they mean no.
Okay, that's good to know. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you know if they actually understand? I mean, I use the what did I say?
Body language, body language. And that's why Zoom is so important. And don't be afraid to say, okay, if you understand them, please repeat to me what I just said. What are
That's how
your
you,
first steps, right?
that-
And they're going to feel uncomfortable, but it's better that they waste 5 minutes and you have to explain it again
mhm.
than them going out for 2 days, being lost, discouraged, and stressed, and they quit over that. So I'd rather make them uncomfortable for 5 minutes and repeat myself for 5 minutes, because the second time I repeat myself, they know they better listen. Right?
Yeah, yeah,
And the first thing that I do is, what did you learn from, the first video? Because if they know I'm going to ask them questions, they're going to listen and write notes.
yes,
Because it's not
absolutely.
just about sitting back and eating popcorn and, being entertained for a bit. That's not what it is. They're
Yeah,
learning, right?
yeah. The LMS system I have has questions built into the end of any module to make sure they actually understood it.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Otherwise, they're just sitting back and eating popcorn. You're right.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So creating those other accounts
Yeah.
is important.
Yeah.
And it's going to be difficult for them because, they can't do anything with a brand new LinkedIn account. And if all of a sudden they take your existing account and all of a sudden there's all this massive activity, that's another flag.
So should I
Everything,
not give them my direct account?
yes, or
Give
else
them,
they have nothing to do.
so okay.
Yeah.
Because so it'll be the sub accounts have to slowly be built, and the mine will kind of do most of the work at the beginning.
Yeah, don't call them sub accounts because that means they're connected. They're individual.
Not
Okay.
individual accounts, yeah,
Yeah,
separate accounts.
separate accounts.
But all those people worked at oddjob.ca when I do all that work.
That kind of scares me. I mean, one of them could be a mortgage broker. One of them could be a real estate agent. Uh, because third-party endorsement. Let's say you have a salesperson who is convincing you that you should try Odd Jobs. If he works at Odd Jobs, that's a biased opinion, right? If he's a real estate agent working for Remax and he says, hey, I've used a company called Odd Jobs, have you tried them? They're pretty good, in my opinion. That's a third-party endorsement.
And then there should be mine that is me. Because I'm not a third party endorsement. I'm not LinkedIn.
You're you, yeah. So they
Yeah,
can use your account for recruiting real estate agents or handyman or You know, each account will have its own specialty, and we'll have to design that specialty as we go along. Obviously, when we're creating this strategy, we have weeks and weeks and weeks of planning with my people. We come up with names and what each account is going to do. Then when we hand it over the spreadsheet, you know, everybody knows what each account does.
Yep. Okay.
So we are a few weeks behind on that.
Story of my life. Okay. Okay, I think I can start making those and get that all beginnings and set up. And
Yep.
make
And again, you have staff, ask for help, you know, empower these
Yeah.
people. You know, if they make mistakes, and you know, a LinkedIn account gets, you know, gets blocked or whatever it is, oh well, just get rid of the VPN, get a new VPN, start over. No big deal. They will learn from their mistakes.
Yep. A couple questions about how often I should engage with them, how I should be tracking their work. Should I use like a Monday.com or a Trello, or just like emailing back and forth?
I
Hoping you don't.
maybe create a WhatsApp group. That's what I do. Then that way, when you instruct one, you're instructing all.
Oh, I can invite them.
Leave voice notes instead of texting.
Okay.
That's why I like WhatsApp. And I would be talking to them 2 or 3 times a day,
Okay.
because the, you know, training. The more you train them, the more they can take a load off your back.
Yep.
Right. And one of them already does video editing. Mirren, whatever her name was, sorry.
Emerlyn. Yep.
Emerlyn. She does video editing and you know, stuff like that. So you need to start creating content. And she also does graphics, so thumbnails, and she can create all that. So your job as a CEO is really to create that content. You need to get out of the general manager role and start
Yeah.
getting into the CEO role.
I have to replace myself though to get out of that role. I can't just.
Well, a lot of the tasks you can delegate to them
Mhm.
as much as possible, so you free up some time to devote to the CEO role and start creating content. The other
Yeah, I've never been good at creating content and either finding it or like getting someone to coordinate to film me to do this stuff. It's not like I'm not bad on camera. I just can't seem to coordinate that happening properly.
yeah,
Getting a person to come and follow me around fixing things or
yeah,
doing.
get out of. You've said that several times. I hate it when CEOs say that. You know,
And I
because
don't want to do that. I don't want to do that kind of stuff. I want
because that's the wrong
stupid
strategy.
video. I
Justin,
want
that's
someone to
the
find a stupid video and make it, and then people just come back to our website because it's a stupid video. Like a silly, weird, funny thing, like a cat falling through a ceiling at a construction site or something just ridiculous that makes people laugh and click on it. That's the
Yeah.
kind of stuff you're going out to people.
Well, the content could be video. I mean, don't forget, you can have pictures pasted together to create a video. There's many ways to create a video.
Mm.
Uh, and Jasper, I think it's Jasper that you use to because you need digital along with the video in order for Google to crawl it and so on.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know, the toilet paper roll is an example. The reason why I wanted to have, you know, daily conversations with you is because we are so far behind. There's so many things we should have done in the last couple of weeks. And I wanted to leave you alone because you were so bogged down with finding people. Now that we found them, you need to empower them and get them to start doing these things. So technically, they should have been on this call, right? Because you know, your tasks, you're going to delegate to them. So they might as well be on the call so they understand why they need to do the certain tasks, right? So they understand what the challenges are.
Yeah, I just feel like I've got to make sure that that I know what I'm giving them to do all the time. This is new. This is new for me. So I don't want to go out there and misdirect them and then have to regroup and look like a dumbass.
Right. That's why you and I talk every day, so you understand what the goal is. Then that way all of us are on the same page.
Yeah, you're right. I get home at 6 or 7 at night sometimes, and I don't want to. Well, and then it's time to have dinner and stuff, and then
Yeah.
then your calendar's empty.
I know, I know. The fuel's gone.
Yeah,
I understand perfectly. The other
but you're right.
question, the other major question that we need to talk about, the elephant in the room for me is the other brands that we were talking about. We were talking about creating competition for odd jobs. Is that still on the table? Have you rejected that idea or
I
what?
haven't rejected. I mean, I can only focus on so many things, and to me, I want to make. Can Oddjob be a $5 million brand that's established and working where I'm not figuring things out first, and then I can go make these other brands. Otherwise, I'm trying to fix the thing I have and make these other things. I will probably be pulled in too many. It's more than I can probably handle. And
Yeah,
then
okay. That's
training, especially if I'm training all these new franchisees and having to support them and all their systems and overseeing new marketing and being a CEO to delegate, it's I don't know if I can individually manage all that and not drop a ball the wrong way.
yeah. Well,
But I know I
well,
can make Oddjob a great brand and then step back and try and make other great brands.
okay.
What do you think?
Well, if that's the goal, I believe we need to redesign your trucks, your branding. Um, we need to create accidents with your truck because it's so eye-catching, because people are breaking their necks looking at what the hell was that? And I don't think you're going to do that with the current design. It's not bold enough. It's not eye-catching enough.
And I hear what you're saying. Um, and I have no problem changing it with research that shows that. I mean, the brand that was out there that's now was researched, kind of like you suggested to be done, and I have no personal connection to it because it is what it is. But you're the only person that doesn't like it. Every other customer, every other person really connects with it and gets exactly what it is.
Right. But every other
And as you said, it's
customer,
not about opinion, it's about research, right? So it's not
right,
about my opinion or your opinion. It's about what the customer said they liked.
right. But my opinion comes with 40 years of research.
And I hear you, but does that, if I did the research you're talking about to have created that truck by asking customers and doing pictures and showing them, which I did in the beginning, to create that from our old brand, does that negate the information that I collected from that to say that this is what people liked?
Um, well, customers, even customers that live in $10 million homes, may like or dislike something, but they have no idea why. They don't understand the subliminal messaging behind the brand, right?
Mhm.
Sometimes, um, they may say, I like it, but I don't know why, or that makes me feel good. Don't ask me why. Because that's subliminal messaging, either working positively or negatively.
Mhm.
So if you want to go forward with one brand, I'm not sure that that's enough of differentiation because don't forget, 15 years got you where you are today.
Yeah, and I
Make
just changed the branding 2 years ago.
making minute changes to me is not going to give you the hockey stick curve.
Yeah,
Okay. We need to create monumental changes to create that hockey stick curve. Okay.
I agree. I feel like the truck is important, but the LinkedIn and the website and the e-commerce will get more. That's a better investment on return on investment because that's a system that constantly goes. The truck is important, but we only get 10% of our business from the truck, and we get 70% of our business from the internet.
Right. But if there was well-branded truck, you should get 20 calls a day from each truck, which would substantially change those numbers, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And like I said, I'm still not against changing it, but I do want to do the research, not just randomly pick something and go ahead. Like I'd want to get feedback like I got the first time to make sure, like I thought when I went to this branding, that is also a good change, not just something that I like.
Right. Okay. I'm okay with that. The only concern that I have is we're trying to get your company to 1 million or $3 million, whatever that goal is. But we're not going to do that with tiny little steps. And we still have the same mindset because I'm not seeing a substantial change in mindset. We still have the same mindset that got you from, where you were 15 years ago to where you are today. And, little changes in that mindset is not going to get you to $3 million in the next 12 to 24 months.
No, you're probably right. But how do I do that when I have less sales and like I said at the beginning, it's a capital issue. I can do everything if I have the capital because I would love to do everything. Everything is the right answer to move forward, but there's only so much to spread around.
Okay, so the reason why we went with virtual assistants in the first place is for you to double or triple your horsepower. Okay, with for $1,500 a month, you're tripling your horsepower, right? In terms of marketing. Marketing is the biggest leverage tool you can use when you have very little budget to get you to the next level. But we can't depend 100% on that because depending on the virtual assistants, and if we don't give them some wow tools, we have to give them leverage tools, something they can use that creates the wow factor with the people they're talking. If it doesn't create the wow factor and those conversations fall flat, it's going to minimize the returns.
I agree. Like I was talking to the people about the people who were doing that digital program for me. I was talking to his marketing person, and we were talking about the marketing has to be more personalized and connected to the person, like explainer videos about who we are. He was talking about an email campaign that has the welcome series of who we are, what we're about, why you want to work with us, a set of 3 videos that connects with that new person that signed up for our website or whatever. And he said you could easily get 5 to 15% of your revenue from a well thought out email campaign that triggers emails based on the actions that your customers take, either signing up for a form or finishing an invoice, or it's their anniversary from when they did their first job or their birthday. And this whole system is built out to send them emails with referrals and links and codes to build and drive sales.
Yeah. That's fine. That's a little bit better, but it's still a minute change. What I want you to think about is the Royal Bank as an example. So my assistant was working on testing something, happens to land on someone like that. Yes, it fall flat because we had one brand. Okay. Had we had 2 other brands at that point with websites and everything was ready and not just testing, we would have landed that account or at least got an opportunity to do one job. And if we wowed them, then we would keep doing jobs for them. When we have 3 assistants with 3 brands or 4 brands, now we're multiplying our efforts, right? Because we're going to reach out to people and most of them are not going to accept our connection request. So we use a different brand to reach out to the same person. We may not get a connection accepted, right? But maybe the 3rd time they will connect because they're in a good mood or something. Okay. So when you have multiple opportunities for a $2 million account, eventually you have now you have 3 horses in a 10-man race, 10-horse race.
Yeah, I know,
Okay.
I get it. I get it. No, you're right. Which is like, and I wrap my head around it completely. It's just, another website, another. I guess I just haven't figured out how the hell do you manage all these things?
Well,
Like I'm in the process of like I'm slowly leveling up, and I was reading a book. It's like you get to a point where you've leveled up, and now you're less confident than you were before because you now have all these new unknowns, and that's where I'm at. Is you're seeing a person with that's come. I have all these new unknowns, and they're new problems to solve, and I don't know how to solve them.
right.
You know?
Okay. Now multiply that. You run one company. I have shares in 19 different companies, pretty soon 20 different companies. But you got to be able to pigeonhole things, right? You got to depend on your people. You got to learn to delegate. And now you're just starting to have people that you can start to delegate to. So you need to
Yeah,
start learning and depending on them. And don't be afraid to say, hey, I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
yeah,
You need to help me figure this out. And this will give them some confidence to say, hey, if I make a mistake, then, I make a mistake. It's not going to
yeah,
cost you my job. And you have to tell them that. If you make a mistake, it's not going to cost you your job. We're in this for the long term. You and I are going to make some mistakes. Please make sure it's not a costly one, you know?
yeah, yeah.
So so they're on board. They all three of them seem eager. Let's
Mhm.
schedule Zoom calls. Let's start the training process. I would even schedule a Zoom call every morning. While one of them is still on holidays, and technically they don't start until the new year, correct? So
Yeah,
you're kind of using them out of the goodness of their hearts. But I did say keep track of your hours. You
yeah.
know,
I've already given them the time tracking system.
right? So that's what I would do. You need to start doing 30 things at once instead of one thing at a time, because one thing at a time is what got you here.
Yes. So delegating to office people is a new thing of delegation. I'm very good at delegating to my people that have to do physical work. Delegating to people who have to do office work. And then the excuses are the things that come up with. I don't know how to police it as well as I know how to police the other stuff. I
Yeah,
can't.
trust. You can't police. You have to trust. And at the end of the month or 2 weeks from today, you're going to see one has produced more than the others. Um, so there has to be trust. Then you police the ones that don't seem to be working all that well, and you may have to fire one or two of them, by the beginning of February. And don't be afraid of that, because now you have one who can look through more resumes to hire two more.
Yeah.
Um, Eventually, you're going to have 5 good virtual assistants that you can depend on. That's where
Yeah.
you're heading towards, right?
Yeah.
So I guess the question that I'm trying to ask you, if you don't want those brands, I've had serious inquiries for them, that I could sell them to somebody else. But if you don't
I
want those brands, but you should start creating other brands, because I do really believe that you need competing brands, especially when you have a scenario like the Royal Bank where she's not going to do business with you, but chances are she will do business with a new brand if she knows it's a completely separate company.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. You're giving me a lot of homework along with a lot of my other homework. That's okay.
Well,
How do
we
you
didn't
not do
talk. We didn't talk for 2 weeks, so that's
Yeah,
what happened. So it's a lot
yeah,
less when we talk every day.
yeah, you're right. You're right. Um, okay. And you know what? In your emails for a sudden, we were replying back and forth to each other that your signature disappeared, which is why I couldn't find it all the time. But now I've copied and saved it somewhere separate so I can always access
Yeah,
it, which is useful.
yeah. That's some of the things. Get a system. And the
Yeah.
first thing I'm going to teach your assistants is to get a system. We use Google Docs. Every email that I write, that's well written, I save in Google Docs. then I can go back and say, I remember writing an email about this. I search whatever keyword was there. I go through it. I copy and paste it. I didn't waste all that time writing a good email, even though I only thought I was going to write it once. But it's funny how many times you use the same email. So Google Documents, save important links. I also have a book that I write down passwords. I don't want them digitally. So there's systems, there's backup systems.
Yeah, I have most of what you've mentioned because I couldn't manage everything without them. My password list is digital though, because I have to access it from different places.
Okay.
I do the Google Docs trick that you have, because that's very useful. All our messages to every single customer has its own page, and we just have to look it up on the browser and it pops up and we can email the customer.
Right.
Because pick these things over and over again.
Right. We even have a spreadsheet for different topics and common answers that we've used over and over again.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah. Because again, if you're going to take 5 minutes to respond to someone's question, it's going to be about employees or marketing or profit or revenue or culture. So there's only about 10 different topics that you keep seeing over and over again that you want to engage with on LinkedIn. So go to the right category, find one, copy and paste, customize, right? And that's what your people have to learn. Or they use the dictation or command module on Dragon Naturally Speaking. And they have a list of all the different, I have at least 100 different commands. I look at my list of what am I looking for employees. Okay, how many do I have under employees? And I say the command, it appears, customize it, sent.
Oh, I love systems like that. So fantastic. Thing that makes life easy, right?
Yeah. Especially when you hate doing admin work or
Yes.
right.
Yes. Is it possible maybe for me to see one or two of those videos you're sending them, so I understand what they're getting into, so when I chat with them, I don't sound like I'm clueless?
Sure. Keep in mind they're old.
That's okay.
Yeah, they're not edited. They're just me rambling on, me trying to train someone. Yeah, I'll send you the videos once I send it to Mirren or wherever.
Mylene?
Mylene, sorry.
That's okay. They're hard for
See,
me to remember too, but I just
yeah,
talked to it.
I have a mental block with that name apparently. Mylene. Okay. And
Okay.
we also need a formal working relationship. Like we don't, I was under the impression we were going to go with a done for you program, the marketing program. If that's not acceptable to you, that's fine. But we need some type of working relationship. So it looks
Yes.
like we're leaning towards an advisory only type relationship, and that's fine too. So let's figure out what that looks like, how much time you're going to need. I would suggest for the next 3 months, while you're training these people, they should be daily or at least 2 or 3 times a week. And probably with them on the call, then we dismiss them and you and I, or we schedule another call for you and I, or you and I first, then bring them on. So you and I talk for 15 minutes, then we know in 15 minutes they're going to join. Whatever that looks like, whatever makes you happy or makes you more productive, and to start learning to delegate is what we need to get to. But the other brands, I must emphasize, there's only so much that I can do. It really depends on the tools that you have, right? Having these 3 people and they don't have tools right now, I'm powerless and I hate being powerless.
Yeah. Well, my ultimate goal is to get you to want to partner with me, and so you have interest in 21 companies. But
well, if that's the case, then we should have that conversation. If that's the case, then we need to use those other brands. If you want to get to $10 million, I'm going to get you.
That is the case, because I can't do this alone. I mentioned it several times that I'm not looking for someone to pay to advise me. I need someone who knows what they're doing to help me get there, and I'm happy to give them a piece of my pie. because it takes more than one person to get this shit done. And I want people who are smarter than me in the room around me to help me get there.
Or in a Zoom room around you.
Yeah, exactly. Right. That's how you get places. You have people that are smarter than you in the areas that they're experts in. They just
Okay,
go-
so let's talk about that. Send me an email. Let me know what that looks like.
All right. Time
I
I've
get,
written like
you
this,
know,
so
use the
soon as I-
weekend. It doesn't have to be for tomorrow. Use the weekend, think about it, but send me an email specifically on that. And schedule another call for the 5 of us with your virtual assistants. And again, don't be afraid to say, guys, I need your help.
Yep, I
You know?
won't. I'm gonna reach out to them about creating these accounts and stuff and see what I can get from them.
Yeah. And who knows, maybe somebody will volunteer and say, I'll be the specialist in creating accounts. That
That's
might
what I
happen.
love. Yeah.
And by the way, I did reach out to Mary, the one that has an English degree, and she's not moving.
no
She's very happy where she is now.
No problem. You know that person that had come up that you said hire that guy in the spot? That was the only person who didn't show up for his interview.
Oh shit.
He did all the work. He wrote an amazing article, and then he just disappeared.
He probably got a job offer. So I would keep his name because, 6 months from now, send him an email or get your virtual assistants to send them an email every 6 months or so. Because again, they should have a marketing calendar and put it on their marketing calendar to automatically do a reminder. So if he's good, going to be good 6 or 12 months from today. So.
Yep. Okay. Okay, I got a letter to work on and some things to start and some other Zoom calls to book.
Yeah, I'm glad that I could add to your stress level.
Thank you. Right before Christmas. Thank you.
All right. That was
best
your
gift.
Christmas. That was your
Yeah.
Christmas gift. So have a good night. Let's talk again soon.
You too. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.